we have some huge news right now that
Hey Debbie girl, how are you? Bunny Foo Foo, how are you? I appreciate your username. That dates me back to teenagerhood a little bit, which I am definitely in the teenager, angry, inner child healing phase, and that's normal. Yep, same here, Debbie girl. Like, for me as well. Yeah, very active, lots of downloads. But remember, okay, so I said that a lot of things were going to be falling away after today, between now and like Wednesday, Thursday, right? So, hey Hannah girl, how are you, babies? Sorry, so like, oh girl, hi. I haven't seen you in forever. I was thinking about you the other day. And Debbie girl, yes, very busy. Lots of moving parts, lots of like distractions, yet intentionally trying to focus back in. I don't know if that fits for you or not. I know, Hannah, baby girl, everything's really crazy right now. We're in the middle of a Scorpio full moon tonight, and that affects the whole collective. So we are purging out, especially the fixed signs, so Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo. We're purging out those ideals that no longer fit for us. But it deals with the darker psyche, so yes. Exhaustion is normal, but that's asking us to put down the burdens that we can no longer carry. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm sure school is probably ramping up for some finals and exhausting, so. All right, hello. I'm Lara Joe, Siren Song Lover. We're doing kind of collective energy read and just collective energy check-in because it's been a pretty brutal few days, like letting go of things that are too heavy for us to carry, full moon activity. And I love when people used to be like, oh, are you superstitious? I'm like, the moon affects us because we are 90% water, or sorry, not 90, I'm sorry, between the cat and everything else. We are 70% water, like the ocean, so of course the moon affects us because it affects the oceans. So Knight of Swords, I love how my kitty cat decided she wanted to join us. Knight of Swords, this is being swift and decisive and knowing like, yes, you're going to have to restructure how your life looks, but you have to use logic, discernment, be swift. Almost like when you have a Band-Aid on, you have to pull it off. Knight of Swords is that way also in the emotional capacity. It's like, you know what? I'm not going to ruminate in this. It's like, it's got to go. I know it has to. We're out of here. All right? And like I say, Alcatraz apparently decided she wanted to come join us, which is weirdly telling. Girl. Hey, thank you. Oh, man. All right, let's see what else. There's been a lot of information that's been coming out the last few days, like a lot of downloads, and then there's also a lot of information coming out in the news, on social media, all over the place. So be paying attention because we're about to see some things fall. And not to be scary, just we are astrologically in the point that we were in when we were in the Revolution and the French Revolution. That's the point we are in cosmically right now. So leaning into letting the old structures pass, okay? And not holding on to them because they can no longer be sustainable. All right, we'll take those. Okay, so Tower, Six of Swords, Hierophant, Knight of Wands, King of Wands, and Eight of Wands. So there's a lot here, but let's unpack it, okay? So Tower is saying, and that is Scorpio, so I love that she comes out right away. Tower is saying you can't hold on to things that are broken. Like if you aren't using it, let it go. Or if it no longer serves like a higher purpose in your life, it's time to say goodbye to it and not be sad about it. So Marie Kondo your life. When the Tower hits, be like, you know what? I didn't even like that much anyway. Okay, Six of Swords. You're being moved away to safety. The imagery that's been coming out the last few days was Six of Swords. You're being moved away to safety, almost like the ferryman. You know when like you pass over and you have to have your allotted coinage for the ferry, but you don't actually have to drive any further after that. It's like you paid your toll. You're just sitting there, and Divine is moving you away to safety. Okay, so Six of Swords is like, and this is also channeling that footprint in the sand. Like when you couldn't keep walking, that's when the Divine picked you up and carried you in their arms and said, hey, I know you're really tired, but you can rest. You can love. You can breathe again, okay? Hierophant is knowing that there are bigger pieces in play. This is way bigger than us, and just enjoying the enlightenment, enjoying the knowledge. This is Taurus, the grounded side of Taurus, and knowing that a lot of these plays have been in years long before we ever got here. So we can't even stop what's going on. We just have to try and, make the best out of what we have. So Hierophant is tapping into that grounded side of the contracts and karma. Knight of Wands, this before was that you can't bet anything on this. Knight of Wands is like fickle. It's like passionate, but not actually sustainable. He's off on his little crotch rocket just speeding through town. He's not stopping to say hello, okay? We do have King of Wands, though. So we're growing through what we're going through, and we are stepping into our full power. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but we are, like I say, we're going from that, I don't know what I want. I'm just going to race off to actually having, like, home, being able to build on it, okay? And then Eight of Wands, you're getting messages. You're probably getting deluged with downloads. And I had said the other day is like, you'll go through like a expansion where you'll have like a rapid expansion. You'll get a lot of info. You'll get a lot of stuff that you use. And then having the time to integrate it in. So Eight of Wands, it can be that whole, you got a lot of info at once, and then you have a moment to breathe, rest, and see how all of it integrates and works in together. So paying attention to how your body's feeling, paying attention to how the universe is interacting with you, which I had some pretty cool experiences with that today. So Four of Cups, we have been left feeling like we don't have a friend in the world. Not realizing that most people are fake, so I'd rather be alone chilling with myself than having a fake friend. So Four of Cups is taking that moment to realize, like, if they don't, like, you know how you're around someone and you just don't feel good after being there. And you're like, no, I'm not going to hang around people that make me feel lonely while they're sitting next to me. You know how you have those people that aren't emotionally safe? It's like you can't share with them your good news because you know that they're just going to leave you feeling like it wasn't enough, or they're going to leave you feeling like, oh, well, I could have done that. No. Stop hanging around people that are tearing you down because they don't have anything better to do. All right? Okay, High Priestess. Tapping in, tuning in, turning on. High Priestess is very much moon energy. It's Pisces, right? She knows what's going on because she can sense it coming. Almost like if we were to get an earthquake, it's like, you know how dogs can sense an earthquake before it's coming, or you have those medical dogs who can smell, like they can smell the hormones or the pheromones that you put off, and they can predict how you're gonna maybe have a medical emergency and then rescue you. It's the same. High Priestess is tapping into what you need to make sure that you are safe and to make sure that you have everything going that you want, but it's intuition, and part of intuition is listening to what your body is telling you, not overriding it. Like, here's the biggest part. When you listen to someone else's, nice, exactly, and Debbie girl, I'm going to pull up a quote to give you because I gave it to someone else earlier today in our collective. It's like intuitively putting yourself in the right place at the right time. So I had posted the video earlier about footprints in the sand. And one of our collective had said, like, I love this poem. And I said, yes, because you are reminded of the things that bring you are, like, reminded that, like, you bring into your reality. So, yes, there will be angels that are super helpful, placed right where you need them when you need to be, so that instills your faith in the divine and your own intuition and your own mission and journey and path. You will have, like, the guides that are like, hey, I can help you with that. And they're just right there when you need them. Generally, when you're at your lowest, you'll be like, it was like, I had a friend in that library. So, I hope that made sense. Kayla, we're doing collective energy reads. I'll see what comes out. Ace of Wands, whatever you just had done, Kayla, you're going to feel that, like, hope of a new day. Like, that spark of inspiration. It's like the silver lining. It's like, yes, you may have had a procedure that altered your plans, yet there's going to be a blessing in it that you won't see that will give you that, like, okay, I can breathe again, or I can do whatever it is I need to do. Okay? It's almost like you're at that point of despair, and then you realize that it worked out the best way possible. Hey, Christy, how are you? I'm Lara Jo. Okay, Ace of Wands. We're getting that spark of inspiration again. Creativity. Okay, so I had heard somebody say the other day, your rage is your feminine wounding about your creativity. It's like the way that you wanted to be creative as a child and your mom maybe being disapproving or not understanding. That rage that you have inside of you, it's your inability to express your creativity in a safe space. So start creating that for yourself. Okay, Page of Swords. Page of Swords and Temperance. Okay, so Page of Swords is that jealous stepmother energy. It's like, yeah, she's beautiful. She's got her own thing going on, but she wants to be you so bad, not because there's anything wrong with her, but because she sees, it's like that petty, like, if I can't win, no one else can win. Well, Temperance is having patience and realizing that person is reacting from a place of wounding. Okay? I'll look in just some, so Chrissy, in relation to the cards that I have right here, right now, I'm going to say that yes, it feels like something was intercepted, yet have patience because it's going to work out in a way that is going to be a blessing in disguise. And I'll say how this kind of works out. It's like you'll have sent something, it will get intercepted, and it's like something, they'll do something to catch themselves up. And I hope that that makes sense to you. Like, people that do mean things aren't that smart. They always leave behind, like, their ego, their cockiness, breadcrumbs for people to follow it back. So even if this did, like, even if that message was intercepted by her husband, yeah, have patience and balance, babe. It feels like there's a lot of manipulation, control, but something's gonna shift. Just watch it play out and be ready to move in action when she reaches out. Okay? Sagittarius energy is Temperance. It's that wounded healer. So as a mother, here's what I will explain. In my child custody cases with my ex, it's like I've had to take some losses because I know even though if I lose this battle, I'm going to win the war. Okay? And because I was able to get myself out of there, even though it was painful because I had to leave my children behind, at the same time, I know that when it's safe for them and when they're ready, they're going to be able to follow the path. Because I've already created the path for them and I've already paced it back and forth so that when they're ready, they're going to have the mile markers to get there. So this is that whole putting your own oxygen mask on first. Even with our children. It's like if we are in situations, and like for your daughter, right? When we are in situations that are abusive, we can't help the people that we love the most from within it. We have to get outside of it first, get out of the reach, the radius, and then create that connection for them to be able to follow when they're ready. And she may be ready soon. She may not be ready for a long time. And as mom, we just have to hold the vision that I know my baby's coming back to me. And I know that my baby is protected. Okay? And that's the other part, is putting that protection on your daughter and putting protection if you have grandkids, like sending them all the positive vibes. And also what I would suggest there, and I'm going to actually give you guys just a brief basic Reiki idea. Okay, if you're feeling like you need that energy boost from the universe, like I've done this while I was driving, I do this when I'm falling asleep. It's like if I need to draw strength from the earth, place both of your hands on your body and imagine like there is a energy source from earth flowing through you to assist you and guide you. And you can also send that to your children, right, and your grandkids. I would ask their higher self, like, do I have permission, or ask them verbally, do I have permission to send you positive energy? But I don't want you to think it's like you have to give her all your strength. You call upon your guides. So like if I'm doing animal work, I would call upon like Mary Magdalene and Archangel Ariel, right? Because they're very much earth-centered. They're very much animals and creative, like the whole nature balance. So I call upon them to give guidance and help in healing animals. I give guidance towards helping my children. We want to call upon those deities that are guided in that way. So if you look at other deities, we can talk about that. But hopefully that makes it. Like, you don't have to carry the weight by yourself. You do have other archetypes that are willing to help you. You merely just must ask for it. Like, you have to give me just one moment. You have to give permission for them to assist, but you also have to ask for it. You have to know what you want or need and ask. Oh, Debbie, I've been trying to give you clues about Mary Magdalene, because that's my bloodline. I've been trying to give you guys that info for a long ass time about Mary Magdalene, because she's not what the church painted her to be. Even today, Mary Magdalene, that earth mother, that divine mother, even the anger side of it, the healing side of it too, it's not what the church has made you believe about it. They have disenfranchised you and disconnected you from that feminine healer because they demonized it. All right, I'll be back. Give me just a moment. I have to go do something. Debbie, give me one moment, because you want to know her, and I'm telling you I'm an embodiment. And if you don't believe that, that's fine, but I'm telling you that our meeting was not coincidental, because yes, you said you wanted to get to know Mary Magdalene, and then an actual physical embodiment of someone who carries the codes of Mary Magdalene showed up in your existence. And I've been trying to tell you that for a minute. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know if it's a belief factor. I don't know. I'll be right back. I gotta go do something really quick. Okay, so let's talk about that for another second, though. Is that when I talk about Jesus, it's a Christ consciousness. It's the upgrading of your crystalline structure, right? It's healing, it's unity. Mary Magdalene was the high priestess. She was the actual vessel to be able to bring that to creation. She was the one who carried on the teachings of the mystery schools. So, Seven of Cups. We have choices, we have options. And that's also with what we believe and don't believe. We have choices and we have options. Yes. Being that I have no religious background, how would I know that? Or formal training in anything. Seven of Cups. That's following the things that are best for you. Putting the right things in your cup. The right mantras. And we have the Lovers, which is our soulmate energy. So as we make the healthy choices for ourselves, we get to bring in union. We get to bring in partnership. But we have to make sure that we are being brutally honest with what our desires are for ourselves, for others. And that's the other. When you stop letting yourself slide, when you start holding yourself accountable, you will not put up with other people sliding or not being held accountable. And you can't make them act right, but what you can do is say, hey, we're not going to hang out together. Lovers, though, is you, in order to bring in the yin to your yang, you have to be honest about what it is that you want, how you feel, and feel the feels. That doesn't mean you have to tell them how you feel. That doesn't mean you have to ever share that with anybody else. But it's like you have to feel it in order to heal it. And finally say, I'm no longer going to be with people that make me feel abandonment issues, even within yourself, right? Sometimes just remind yourself, like, I'm not really alone. Okay? So, Seven of Cups, Gemini with Lovers, which is union, soulmate. Okay. All right. Love it. Love it. Let's see what other. Okay. See if anything else flipped while we were... All right. So any of the cards that are flipped over, I'm pulling them out so we can focus on those. Hermit is going within. It's that Virgo energy. It's that self-healing. It's knowing what you need. It's like if you've had a really hard day, do you need to sit on that couch and bundle up and like cocoon and drink something warm? Or do you need to be, whatever it is, Hermeticism is being okay being by yourself. Whether anybody else shows up or not, you're there. So Hermit is recognizing that you carry the light that you seek. You must go within so you don't go without. Eight of Cups. This is being honest and saying, okay, this no longer works. I gotta go. Eight of Cups is always the infinity. Eight is infinity. So Eight of Cups is saying, I have watered this until I'm dry and it's never gonna grow, and walking away and finding different opportunities. It's the pivot, okay? We do have Two of Pentacles. So we're balancing our emotions, we're balancing our thoughts. We've been maybe dysregulated, but finally getting some footing under you. Realizing, and that I feel does come with just realizing it is all going to work out. And sometimes you do have to tell yourself that it is all going to work out so that you can get to the next point, okay? If you have to be Delulu till it becomes Tralulu, okay? Beauty, Sandra, we're doing collective energy reads. I have Ace of Wands, so there's something, an idea, so even if he's traveling, it's going to bring in that financial success. Badger, stop. Ow! Okay. Anything that's not for the highest good of this read, get out. If you have evil eye, not good intentions, and you're feeling some sort of way, you're not welcome. Okay? So nice is what I'm going to say it. The next time there's going to be some profanities with it because you know that you're impeding. Okay. Ace of Wands. Ten of Pentacles. Whatever we're bringing in is bringing in success. Financial success. This is like generational wealth. This is making a difference for the people that's coming after you. And it's also honoring the people that came before you. Right? We always want to say, oh, my ancestors were the worst. No, they went through the really, really hard things. They crawled through the grit and the mud so that you could run. So paying honor to them and saying, you know what, I know maybe they weren't the best people possible, but they did the best that they could when they could. And I am able to have better opportunities because they went through the struggle, so I didn't have to. Right? Hey, Tracy. So you're getting that spark of inspiration and you're getting that the Ten of Pentacles, it's like you're going to be bringing the offer that is going to set you and everybody you love up for life. I'm going to say this. Poverty is a mindset, right? And where this gets dangerous, and I know this is going to sound maybe farcical, but let's talk about it for a second. Being poor is selfish. Because when you're poor, right? And this is something I'm trying to rewire my brain. So bear with me, because I've always had that poverty mindset of like, you know, have to grind since the beginning of time. When you're poor, you can't take care of the people you love. And you can't honor your ancestors, and you can't live your best life. And that is truly what we came here to do, right? We came here to make a difference. We came here to live our best life. We came here to matter. And you can't matter if you don't ever make an impact. And the biggest way to make impact is to be able to have the resources to create the best life. So stop saying you're too poor. Stop saying like you don't have enough. Like start saying I have enough and then some to be able to take care of the people I love the most and have an impact in life. Right? We all want to make a statement about our life, about what we came here to do. So you can't do that if you don't actually have anything to show for it. So, all right. Let me know if that makes sense or if that tracks or... Six of Pentacles. Okay, so Ronnie Raz, we're doing collective energy read. With Six of Pentacles, what I'm going to say is that whatever you've got going on with Miller right now, I wouldn't necessarily bet long term, but it's like you will be bringing, it's like you'll be able to share some type of assets and resources to be able to get through this situation. So remember, sometimes people are a season, a reason, or a lifetime. Sometimes people are only a season, but that's to like be able to get back up on your feet and breathe. And with Six Pentacles coming out, it's like you're going to be bringing financial stability. So even if it's with Miller for like just a little bit, bringing that financial stability in whatever your partnership is, just be peaceful when you guys separate. Be like, okay, well we've had our time together and now it's time for us to separate ways. Okay. King of Swords, being discerning. King of Swords is that energy, like, he gets the rap for being, well, okay, the King of Swords is decisive. He's like, you know what, I don't want to do it, I'm not going to. It's being super protective over what you love, what you want, and using head over heart. It's like if you know, okay, so say you have a family member you love, but every time they come over, they steal something from your house. And you're like, you know what, I'm just not going to keep inviting them to my house. It's being very decisive logically and saying every time they come over, they steal something. And while I love them, I also don't have to invite them into my life to violate my trust and their trust like that. Like, I love to tell people, sometimes those boundaries are actually the most loving thing you can do. Is be like, until you clean up your ways, you're not welcome in my home. Because I don't feel safe with you being around my home, my children, my food, my money, or my partner. And standing on it. Because you know what you need, and you can't keep allowing people in that just want to hurt you. And I don't care how long you've known them. I don't care how much they mean to you. It's like, if you know that they hurt you, that's not love. Like, intentionally sacrificing your safety, your mental health, your finances, that's not love. You have to start putting boundaries on that and telling people, like, I don't care who you are, you don't have access to me unless you can be respectful. Because it goes both ways. Once you start saying what you want or what your boundaries are, then the other party can also say, I need things too, right? So then they can say what they want and they need. And if you guys can work together, you'll find compromise. And if you can't, then it's time to part ways. Okay? Stop. I guess this is reciprocity. Stop filling cups that aren't filling you. And I'm not talking about like a transactional, but I'm just saying, like, if it doesn't make you happy, stop going there. If every time you go there it makes you feel thirsty, it's time to go. Because you know every time you go there, you're like, oh no, every time, you know, I lose a shoe, I overspend, my credit card gets lost, I feel horrible the next day. You gotta stop putting yourselves, like, that is using even, like, discipline on yourself. You really have to become disciplined over yourself so that you can influence the most desirable incomes in your life. Okay? Sometimes that's the hard part, is parenting yourself to say no to yourself. You're like, I really want that. No, you know what? We've got food at home. That famous line, no, we've got food at home. Realizing that you have to do that with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. When do you overextend? When do you overindulge? And stop doing that, because it's not healthy. Everything about life is balance. So making sure, and that's the other part. Like if we talk about good and evil, right? If you think of the concept of Anubis, and they say he weighs your heart against a feather, right? And obviously your heart's not going to be a feather, but it's saying that regardless of what situations you were presented, did you choose love, or did you choose anger, ego, pain? Like, did you still do the right thing regardless of how that person treated you or you felt? Okay? We're not asking for sainthood. It's just like, did you go overzealous, or did you leave them alone to learn their thing? Okay, 7 of Cups, 8 of Cups. So 7 of Cups is just, again, being very discerning. What are you putting in your cup? Is it making you happy? Is it making you feel good? And if it's not, it's time for it to go. 8 of Cups, you got to walk away. For yourself. No one else can make you do it. No one else can do it for you. You have to decide that. When you're done, you'll be done. It's like me with quitting alcohol, right? It's been really hard. Yet, when I wasn't forced into it. I didn't do any rehab. I didn't have anybody to help me through it. And actually, I got ridiculed by my family when I quit, and by society. And yet, it was like, I decided, I was like, this is no longer of benefit to me. It has an undesirable effect. And I drank for 28 years. From the age of 13 to 40. 27 years. So 13 to 40. And that was condoned by my family and my ex and all that jazz. So, like I say, I didn't have anybody to support me. But I decided, you know what, it's not good for me. And the amount of relief. I know we talk, like, people... It feels like an exaggeration, but it's true. When they say you have so much more time when you give up that addiction, they're not lying. Like, you learn so many new cool habits, skills, quirks when you give up that addiction, because you're like, I'm no longer chasing the bottle. I'm no longer hanging out with people that are just a time suck. I'm no longer destroying my health. It really starts to add up. You get to learn cool new things where you're like, oh, I would much rather this than a day in the club any day. Like, you start to learn, you're like, no, boring's not, like, calm's not boring, it's peace. Okay? Hey, I guess, you know what, if you're going to become addicted to anything, become addicted to peace. Your own internal peace. Okay? Stop people pleasing for other people, because when you commit to things that don't actually make you happy, you are selling yourself out. You're like, well, I do it for them, but then you feel angry because you're like, don't they know how much I do for them? They don't, and they don't care, and that's not trying to be cruel. It's just that they've got their own prerogative. Yeah. Okay, so Knight of Pentacles, we're building slowly and steadily, and this is the other part. When we want, because Earth moves slow, think of the trees. Trees move slow because they're meant to last duration, right? They do all the right things to be able to succeed where they're at. So Knight of Pentacles as well. It's like you're building it and it feels slow, but it's meant to last long term, like long after you're gone. So Knight of Pentacles is saying slow and steady wins the race. Okay, so ride life like it's a ride. Hold on for dear life. Enjoy every twist, turn, right? And then know that everyone's getting off the ride, whether it be at the same time or at different intervals. But you can't force anybody else getting off, but you can say, like, you know what, we're all going to get to the end. It doesn't matter if they're with me or not. I'm going to have a good time. They're going to have a good time. I got to go. Like, okay. All right. Page of Pentacles. So again, this is having the vision. This is actually having the materials. So we go, and this is the other. Dream big. And then dream even bigger than that. Like, when you think of your dream, ask about that dream that you truly want, not out of a place of, oh, I don't deserve it, or how's it going to happen, or that's unrealistic. No, like, dream your biggest freaking dream. Because you may not achieve, like, the whole thing, yet you will achieve some part of that. But you have to open yourself up to actually dreaming, right? You have to be like, what do I truly want? If I had, and this is the other, what would you truly do if you had that financial stability? How would you help others? And we're getting to the point in society where we're going to be called to be doing acts of service. That's going to be like the lifelong mission, is that we're meant to help others. And that's what we're being called. We do have to do the inner healing like first, and then it's what are our individual talents and how do we impact others in the best way possible. You have to see the vision and not downplay it, not naysay it. Say, no, in the perfect world, what would it look like? And then dream it into existence. And know that sometimes it takes longer than you expect because you have to wait for all the pieces to come into place. Okay? A lot of us are dreaming of rooms that are being built for us, so have patience with that. Everything in the material world takes its sweet time. Okay. So, Page of Cups on the bottom, in reverse. This is like, we didn't know what we wanted. We want this, we want that, we want this. It's like shiny, like chasing that shiny object, realizing that we didn't commit to anything. Okay? Ace of Pentacles. So we are finally starting to say, you know what, I want this, and this is how I'm going to impact others. I'm going to talk about that. So somebody had said, they're like, if you came into a large amount of money, you wouldn't tell anybody, but what would be the signs? And it's like, what would you do? If you could build the most beautiful world for you, how would you utilize that? All right. 5 of Pentacles. Everybody else was having a fun time while you were feeling left out in the cold because you didn't know where you wanted to be, who you wanted to be with. It's that being, like, not really being honest about what's happening, how you're feeling, what you truly want. You have to say, from your point of view, what do I want? And then go be in those places. Like, I used to have guys that they would think that a woman was perfect, which she was perfect in their avatar, but she wasn't, like, they didn't take into consideration she has real things, like real problems, real needs, real everything. It's like, she's the dream girl, except for it feels left out in the cold because it's like trying to contort yourself into somebody's perfect ideal when we're human. We're all freaking human. Even that person that wants the perfect dream girl. Okay, so this is finally saying what you want. Where I was going with that is I had a lot of people that they would be like, well, what if I never find... I'm like, baby, you need to figure out what you want and then go hang out in those rooms. Like, if you... Because this was like a man who's into anime and into Comic-Con, and I was like, you can't expect every woman to be your perfect woman and have that niche, yet what you need to do is realize what you want and then put yourself in those places. It's like, if you want to meet a Comic-Con girl, go to Comic-Con. Don't expect to meet her in the wild and convert her to your thing. You have to be where the people are that are doing what you want to do, but you have to figure out what you want first. I know that probably felt hella circular. Okay. King of Pentacles. We are sitting in that boss. This almost has like the King of the Hill vibe. Like, just sitting in that boss energy of, I got a roof over my head. I got food in my belly. My people are happy. They're taken care of. I've got money to give. This is the vibration we want to be in. That's like that boss daddy energy. Never working for anyone else. Being able to set your own hours. Being able to bring in the things that you want for the people you love. Right? As we're happy, as we have love, we can shower and spoil the people around us that we love, that have been there supporting us. Okay. Wheel of Fortune and the magician behind. Okay, anytime we see the magician, this is being able to alchemize whatever you're given to have a better outcome. It's like taking, you know how the Depression era mamas, grandmas, great-grandmas, how they would make a spectacular meal off of scraps from 3 different meals? That's that energy. Magician is saying, okay, I'm going to take this and you're going to make it like The wheels turn in your favor, though. It's like you know how to be resourceful with the Magician, and Wheel of Fortune. It's like you're going to take all of those resources that you have and create that life. Because then we have King of Cups on the bottom. We're bringing in that emotional stability. It's like whether anybody else shows up, I'm proud of me. Okay. Rainy, so we're doing collective reads. What we have been feeling is, or what's come out so far, and hopefully you'll get the messages in this, but we had Page of Cups in reverse. So it was like someone who didn't know what they wanted to commit. You felt left out in the cold, and it's realizing that you have to make the best out of your situation. Okay. And when you finally take the steps to make the best, you'll have that wheel turn in your favor. So time will tell if it's over or not, but you have to become comfortable building a life that makes you happy alone. Okay. Using all of the elements you've been given to make the best of it, and then seeing how it turns out. Okay. Also being willing to experiment with your life and be like, okay, you know what? This didn't work out. It's okay to fail at it. Like, scientists love failing. I know this is going to sound kind of bizarre, but scientists love failing because it means that they can try other variables to create the perfect outcome or experiment with their life. Start looking at life as like an experiment. Oh, if I do this, what happens? And realize how it quantifiably comes out in your life. Also, start giving yourself credit, because if you weren't the woman you were 3 years ago, how far have you come because of the situation? Even if it were to end, would it be the end of the world? Or would you be willing to say, you know what? That didn't work out. Yeah, I deserve happiness with or without them. I'm going to keep moving. Okay? Is that resilience and saying everything that happened, I'm going to use that to be the building of my empire, regardless of if anybody else is there or not. All right. Whew. You guys see why I get thirsty? Because I say a lot. All right, Tower. That's also why I've been laying low the last few days. I've been going through a lot of energy and getting information so that I could rest to come back and say a lot. Because I had to transmute, alchemize the energy I got hit with. And that's also that breather too. The Tower. I don't feel like this is actually going to be a good, I was going to say I don't think it's going to be a good tower. I don't think it's actually going to be a bad tower. You're going to be like, oh, thank God that's over. I can do something else now, right? Sometimes you have to look and go, I'm so happy that cycle is over so that I can explore a new adventure. Like, stop looking at the endings is so hard. And I know I say this all the time, but stop looking at like the end of that relationship, the end of that job is the end all be all. If it were so happy, it wouldn't be the end of it. It would just be a new venture. So start looking at those things that you lose as not a loss. Because if you're around environments that are draining you or making you feel sick or unsteady, that's not a healthy environment for you to be in. So saying, okay, that happened. I've got to let it fall. We're going to pick up the pieces, reevaluate, keep moving on. Okay. The Fool. Being willing to start over again. Being willing to try again. Saying, you know what? Okay, it didn't work. Cool. What next? Also, when you start looking, what's the worst that can happen? Honestly. If that's not that big a deal, then why are you hesitating? Okay. 8 of Swords. I know. It's causing you anguish because it's that fear of the unknown. And realizing at some point you're going to have to make a move. Otherwise, you're just going to get stuck there forever. So 8 of Swords is getting out of your head. Being like, no, I've got to keep moving. This is logical. Sometimes what this looks like for me is like, I'll have a mental mind block. I'll be like, I don't want to do this. But then it's like, if you start breaking it down into steps, you're like, okay, if I do this and then I do this. And having that conversation out loud with yourself sometimes helps you, because you'll say something, and if it's not right, you'll be like, that doesn't sound right. And you'll redirect, or you'll be like, you know what? That is a good idea. And then follow it. So 8 of Swords, stop thinking what other people feel about what you're doing. So this is you know how we used to be so concerned, like, oh, they're going to hear me talking to myself, they're going to think I'm crazy. No. That's how, if you don't have another sounding board to talk to you, being able to talk to yourself is very therapeutic. Because, like I say, you'll say something, you'll be like, that doesn't sound or feel right, or that makes me really angry. I need to go back and look at it. And not caring. Like, not caring what your roommates say, not caring what your children say, not caring what your spouse say. Like, start having conversations out loud if you can't have them with people that you have. So at least you have some type of feedback. Even if it's to yourself. 8 of Swords, they'll get out of your head. Stop caring what other people think. If you knew, like, stop caring what other people think, because people don't even like themselves. They'll hold you the standard of what they like, yet they don't even like that in themselves. Or they don't even like that in you. They're just trying to be persnickety and judgmental. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. We may be about done with this deck. I might be about done. I didn't think it was going to be a very long stream tonight, just because I had a lot of things happen. I had a lot of info. I have a lot of work to do. I wasn't really feeling like streaming, especially the last few days. I was like, no, I need to get at least touch base. And 7 of Pentacles. This is multiple streams of income. Or multiple blessings. Also that too. Instead of saying, I never get blessed, be like, no, I'm blessed from multiple sources, known and unknown to me. And that's my right to receive it graciously. People want to help you. Stop feeling bad about accepting help. Okay? 7 of Pentacles is knowing that you have multiple blessings. You have multiple streams of income because you've been standing the course. You've been putting yourself in the positions to receive. So, okay, get out of your head. Realize that your harvest, what you've been planting with good intention, is growing. And what you've been planting, maybe not with good intention, maybe isn't growing. And realizing what works, what doesn't, and start integrating that into what you're doing. That's as well. When you sow in anger or evil eye towards someone else, you really truly are saying that back to yourself. So stop sending out ill will into the void. Stop being like, I wish they would. No, because that's meaning that you're going to have it happen to you. Because you're doing it from a place of ego. You're doing it from a place of, I wish they knew how bad they hurt me. They're already hurting. They're already being punished because they did something that wasn't kind to you. So stop also putting that back upon yourself, because they're just mirroring to you how you felt and what happened to you. Okay. Okay. All right. So Page of Swords, 6 of Swords, and 4 of Wands. So I'm going to say it again. We'll come to it, because especially they're repeaters. We do have 4 of Wands. So 4 of Wands is always your stability. It's your home. Building 4 walls of your home. So this is like finding that happiness, finding that common ground, feeling satisfied. Page of Swords and 6 of Swords, though, it's like Page of Swords, having to cut out those people that want to play mind games that are childish, realizing that they're coming from the place of being a 5-year-old, and you don't, like, as a parent or as the adult, it's like you don't fight with a 5-year-old. You realize, like, that 5-year-old, in people, like, adult humans are 5-year-olds. If you trigger them, they will go back to the age that they were traumatized at and regress to that age. So it's like if you trigger someone who that trigger puts them back at 5 years old when that trauma happened, you can say the most epic clapback, or you can say the most epic profound thing to them, but if they're in that 5-year-old mindset, they can't process it. Because their brain checks out. That's the other thing. When we get triggered and we go into PTSD, our brain goes straight fight, flight, or fawn. There is no logical thought. If you see someone get triggered, there is no logical thought behind their eyes. They have left the building. Not because they wanted to, but because their trauma hijacked them. And our brain may not remember that trauma because 95% of our 95% of our thought is subconscious. So it's lying in our body, right? But that your body will get a feedback that says, oh, we're in danger, we got to run. So when you emotionally trigger someone and they go back to that 5-year-old mindset. They go back to how they coped at 5. So realizing, Page of Swords, you can't be dealing with people that are trying intentionally to harm themselves or yourself. You do have to move out of their blast radius, right? I've started that with people of like, if I know that they're dangerous or I know that they're unsteady, I get as far away from them as possible. Because I'm like, when they implode, they're going to take me out, and no thanks. Not for that guy. Not for that dude. Like, that's a no. So 6 of Swords is realizing, like, they are not acting like they should be. In order to have that happy home, we have to be willing to get ourselves or be moved to safety. All right? So when you get moved, almost from the divine, don't kick and scream. Just be like, okay, I'm going to sit and stare out the window while I'm moved away, like, to a safer environment. Because your safer environment is on the other side. That's 4 of Wands. That's home. That's happiness. That's stability. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this house for one moment. Because I was raised in silent violence. Like, yeah, my parents never had really loud outbursts, but it was like the silence you had to worry about, so you had to be able to read, like, emotions without any indicators and guess, like, mentally guess what was going to happen or how they were going to react and move accordingly so you stayed out of danger. It's freaking traumatic to be raised in that environment. Because, you know, at least when people are loud, you're like, oh, I can hear them coming. When they're quiet, you have to be prepared for attacks at any time. So where I'm going with that is when I moved into this house, like, that was a priority for me. I'm like, I do not want to have, like, being emotional, like, being loud does not mean that you're crazy. It just means that you're actually tuned in, like, you're regulated. You're like, okay, I'm feeling a way because I feel triggered, and recognizing the pattern and being able to problem solve that. So when I moved into this house, it's like, I don't care how loud it gets, but we're not going to have that anger, like, secret competitions or sarcasm or just unloving behavior. Because sarcasm is unloving behavior for you, for them, for... I know we try to use it as, like, a poke fun or lighten the mood, yet sarcasm at its core is just not... It's biting. Well, if don't talk to others as you wouldn't want to be talked to. Don't do to others what you wouldn't want done to you. It's like I know the golden rule, and this is just saying you would treat others how you would want to be treated. Just like in the medical field, I was treated, and I didn't have a good relationship with my mom, but it was like, if that were the person that I saw as a mother figure, and I would want her to be treated the best, that's how I treated everybody. Because it was like, if I had the most beloved person, this is how I would want them to be treated within the medical field, or if they're medical professional. So start treating others as if they're the most valuable person in your life, because they are. They're a reflection of you. They're a reflection of the people you love, whether that's the actual embodiment of that person or just what you would want it to be, right? I have washed the feet of my enemy. When no one else was there or would show up, or they all bailed on the responsibility, I was there taking care of the people that treat me the worst. Not because I wanted to, yet I knew that I wanted them to have compassion and dignity, and the people that were around them would not do that for them. They would intentionally torture them because they're like, oh, you're finally in a point of vulnerability, I'm going to take it out on you. And I refused to do that. I'm like, you know what? You lived a full life. You had honor. You lived your path. It was hard. I respect you for walking that path because I know how hard mine is, but I wouldn't want to walk yours. So realizing that, yes, you may not like that person, but they have a valid, like, they deserve compassion and love. And the person that's prickliest is the one that needs love the most. Because people don't just say, hey, I want to be a jerk. Or people don't just say, like, I'm going to be unliked by everybody. They became that way by how people treated them. So when we know better, we do better. And taking those people that have lived a really hard life and maybe are super grumpy and realizing, like, hey, maybe nobody showed them kindness. Maybe nobody showed up to help them. Okay? maybe no one's truly saw them for who they were underneath it all, which was the child wanting to be appreciated, seen, validated. All right. Okay. The hermit, going within, seeking your own validation. This is like, don't get caught in that I need other people to pump me up. No, you have to be able to walk the path and heal yourself. Queen of Wands and Six of Cups. So Queen of Wands being fiery and passionate, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Six of Cups is that reminiscing, realizing again what worked for us, what didn't, and then adjusting accordingly. Okay? All right. Three of Cups. You will find that celebration in, but you have to be willing to find what you truly want. Okay, and then be in the rooms with people that want to celebrate you, not steal from you. Alrighty, we'll take that one. Three of Cups. Wanting to come back at it again. Okay, every storm runs out of rain. So don't think that just because it's raining now doesn't mean that the sun won't come out, right? The sun will come out and we'll get a rainbow and we'll know, oh, hey, okay, life starts all over again. So even though it feels like a tragedy right now, eventually at some point the sun will come out, the rainbow will shine again. You'll find that hope, that glimmer. You just gotta be willing to fight for it. Fight for it. Fight for your life. Fight for your health. Fight for what you love. Fight for what you want, because no one else can do it for you. And, okay, two other things. These things didn't happen overnight. So you have to have patience and grace and realize it's going to take consistent work to reverse what's been done. The other thing is, I know you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. You don't have to figure it out all tonight, and you're not going to. It's like when you're ready for the next piece, you'll get the next piece in the puzzle, and you'll be like, okay. So you don't have to figure it out all today. Sometimes, and this is what I've done. If I'm super distressed, I will intentionally be like, I'm not going to figure it out tonight. I need to go do something to bring joy. It's like if I'm worried about finances, I'll be like, you know what? I can't do anything about it right now. So what I am going to do is go watch a movie and let my mind not be so stressed out about negative outcomes, because worrying doesn't actually solve anything. Now, when you start seeing new opportunities from that vantage point, then you start changing it. It's like, okay, well, instead of looking at it as like a complete failure, it's how can I gain something from this experience to be able to set me up for success later. All right. Let's see if there's any cards from this deck. This is the Roast Iconic Oracle deck. Let's see. I got a very chatty read earlier for myself, and I was like, ooh, that's delicious. We'll see. Okay. Okay. Trauma bond. Stop trauma bonding with other people. Trauma bonds don't get you out of this. Don't trauma bond, yet collaborate. It's like if we know we have a similar situation, it's not trauma bonding. It's like, how do we collaborate so that we make sure that that other people aren't affected by this situation? All right? How do we guide others not to make the same mistakes we did? And if they aren't listening, that's okay. Go on to the next person that truly will receive the message. I've had to say that even to my children. My children will cause a fit, or they'll be whatever. I'll be like, you know what? I'm not going to argue with you, or you're not receiving the message, so I am going to go assist others that truly do find value or are ready to receive what it is I'm trying to give you as far as information. Do not underestimate the value of giving someone the idea and then reapproaching it later. Like if you were to be creating a garden, sometimes you may have to pre-seed or create the condition for the soil to be able to garden, right? And it's the same with people. It's like when we want to bring an idea to someone, it's like okay, so you start testing, like, is the soil good in this location? Do I have the right, like, nutrients? Is there a way that I can get water there? Like, is it going to actually grow into something? Don't ever underestimate the doubt of introducing an idea and then coming back later to see if it needs to be nurtured or if it's going to grow or not. What else was I going to say there? And sometimes that's what happens. Is like also, if you're planting something, if you're growing something, like if you were to grow a garden, right, which I would recommend everybody do, right? I want you to start being able to grow your own food, find your sustainability, become self-sufficient. Because A, that brings accomplishment. B, when times get hard, it's like if you can have your own garden, even if it's you live in an apartment and you can grow your own like herb garden, like a hydroponics thing, right? That's a way that you can minimize or control your life a little more. That's one of the ideas that I have is that if you grow your own little starter seed or you start trying to plant that, even in limited spaces, you can create manageable ways to help improve your life or create success for yourself. Okay. Where else is it going? And it's always helpful to have certain herbs available that are fresh or that you can preserve the ways that you want, that don't have all the pesticides, all that, right? So start taking back your life by controlling or influencing the things you can in creative ways versus focusing on what you can't control. I think if there's any other... Yes. When someone plants something in the ground, they don't go dig it up to see if it took root and if it's growing or not. So that's part of it too, is like the farmer knows that they do the best that they can, and then they let whatever the higher forces take over, like nature take over. So when you're planting the seeds, like even manifestations, you can't plant that idea or that seed or that opportunity and then go back 3 seconds later and see like, oh, is it working? Is it done? No, you have to actually let it mature. You have to let it break out of its seed pod. You have to let it expand, and take root. So there is the process with our ideas, much like there is the process in nature with how things grow. It's timing. It's following cycles. It's pattern recognition. Okay? All right, my guys, I'm going to hop out. I'm Lara Jo, Siren Song Lover. Should you wish to donate to my ministry, it's Cash App. Donations are greatly needed and appreciated. It's Siren, capital S, Song, capital S, Lover, capital L. To book a service with me, it's Ko-Fi, which is ko-fi.com/Siren Song Lover. And if you're from my past and you're stalking yet not actually contributing in any way, maybe book a service. We need to have a chat or get lost because you're not welcome. Anyway, bye guys.